Our first stop is metaphysics, the foundational core of objectivism and of any philosophical system. Metaphysics is where philosophy begins, and it's the branch that explores the fundamental nature of reality and of the entities that exist within it. It constitutes the base of objectivism upon which all the other branches not only rest, but are justified. As we'll see in subsequent segments, the branches of epistemology, ethics, politics, and aesthetics are all built upon metaphysical principles, making metaphysics fundamental to the justification and development of objectivism as a whole. Metaphysics addresses big questions such as, what is the nature of reality? What is consciousness? What is the nature of existence? And how do entities within the universe interact and relate to each other? Take a moment to reflect and ask yourselves these questions. How you answer them will have profound implications on your ethical and political views. The main principles of objectivist metaphysics are: 1. Reality is objective. 2. A is A, or the law of identity. 3. Each entity acts according to its nature, or the law of causality. And 4. Consciousness is the faculty of perceiving that which exists. Objectivism asserts that reality is objective, meaning that it exists independently of our consciousness. Think about the universe in all its complexities. These exist as they are, unaffected by our thoughts, beliefs, or feelings. This reality, which was here long before we came into existence and will remain long after we're gone, illustrates the primacy of existence over consciousness. Our consciousness, our awareness of the world, doesn't create reality. Rather, it's a means for us to perceive what's already out there. Despite what some religious or mystical traditions might suggest, our wishes, prayers, or feelings don't have the power to alter the fundamental nature of reality. This insight leads us to a profound understanding of our relationship with the world. It means that while our perceptions, beliefs, and emotions are significant to our personal experience, they do not dictate the external reality. This distinction is vital. It grounds us in a reality that demands acknowledgement and respect, pushing us towards an objective understanding of the world. Recognizing the unchangeable nature of reality helps us navigate life more effectively, making decisions based on what is, rather than what we might wish it to be. It's a call to action, urging us to align our thoughts and actions with the objective truth of existence, fostering a deeper, more meaningful engagement with the world around us. This brings us to the law of identity, the principle that A is A, which has profound implications. Essentially, it tells us that everything in the universe has a specific nature or identity. A thing is what it is. For instance, a tree possesses characteristics that define it as a tree. It cannot be anything else. A tree cannot be a tree and a well at the same time. Similarly, a cloud made up of water droplets or ice crystals suspended in the sky exhibits properties distinct to its composition, manifesting in various forms but always remaining true to its essence as a cloud. Another example is gold, a chemical element with a unique set of physical and chemical properties that distinguish it from other substances. Its lustrous yellow color and resistance to tarnish are inherent traits that make gold identifiable and valued. These examples further illustrate how the law of identity applies across all entities, affirming their distinct and unchangeable natures. This idea that everything in existence possesses an identity carries profound implications across the other branches of philosophy, most notably in ethics. As we'll see later, this foundational principle influences our understanding of moral values and principles. If things have a specific nature, then so do humans. Understanding that entities have inherent characteristics, not arbitrary ones, lays the foundation for defining moral principles based on the nature of reality and human beings. The law of causality states that every entity in the universe, from the realm of the subatomic particles to the vastness of galaxies, along with humans, plants, animals, and inanimate objects, constantly acts in accordance with its nature. So the action of an entity are not random, but are determined by what it is. Take water, for example. It boils at 100 degrees Celsius under standard atmospheric pressure, because that's a property of water due to its chemical makeup. Similarly, consider a lion in the wild. It hunts prey, not because it makes a conscious choice to be a carnivore, but because its nature as a predator is ingrained in its biological makeup. This instinctual behavior is a manifestation of the law of causality, rooted in the lion's identity as a carnivorous animal. Moreover, look at a rose bush. It blooms in the spring, a direct consequence of its inherent biological nature, responding to environmental cues. This is not a random occurrence, but a predetermined action aligned with the plant's identity. Even in non-living entities, such as a magnet attracting iron filings, we see the law of causality at work. The magnet behaves according to its magnetic properties, influencing other objects within its field in a predictable manner. Lastly, consider the orbits of planets around the Sun. This celestial dance is not arbitrary, but is governed by the gravitational forces described by the laws of physics. Again, showing that entities act in accordance with their nature, from the microscopic level to the cosmic scale. Realizing that everything operates under certain principles might lead you to question whether we truly have free will. Does this mean that all our actions and thoughts are predetermined and that we have no control over our futures? While physical laws govern the universe and all entities within it, humans possess the unique ability to make conscious choices. And you can confirm this by simply introspecting within yourselves. Objectivism holds that our destinies aren't predetermined. Unlike water boiling at a specific temperature or planets following a fixed orbit, humans can analyze, consider, and decide freely. This skill to deliberate and make conscious choices sets us apart, highlighting Objectivism's firm belief in our free will. Later in this video, we'll dive deeper into how Objectivism views the importance of choice and its pivotal role in our lives. Lastly, we address the role of consciousness in Objectivism. Consciousness is seen as the faculty for perceiving that which exists. It's our tool for identifying and integrating the facts of reality. Consciousness is not merely a passive faculty for perceiving that which exists. It's an active tool for identifying, integrating, and evaluating the facts of reality. This active engagement with the world allows us to form concepts, make judgments, and reason. This process of exercising our free will, making choices, and pursuing values emphasizes the central role of consciousness in Objectivism's view of human nature and potential. Consciousness is volitional, meaning individuals have the ability to focus their mind and choose their actions based on rational thought or to evade that effort. Here, the concept of volitional consciousness in humans is particularly intriguing. It signifies that we possess the ability to concentrate our minds and make choices grounded in rational thought. This very capacity for decision-making and exercising our autonomy embodies what we understand as free will, and this is fundamental in Objectivism. So, consciousness is not just about being aware of the world, it's about actively engaging with it, making choices that reflect our understanding and values. Why, you may ask, is it important whether someone thinks that reality is independent from consciousness or not? Well, you see, it's because believing that reality isn't fully independent of consciousness leads to a domino effect of momentous consequences. It creates doubt about what we can truly know, making it harder to understand the world clearly. This, in turn, muddies ethical clarity, making it difficult to distinguish right from wrong or good from evil. Ultimately, these uncertainties culminate in flawed political systems that threaten individual rights and freedoms. Looking back, I can see how misguided I was about the universe's nature. As a child, I definitely believed in the power of prayer, thinking if I prayed hard enough, my wishes would somehow manifest, that my thoughts could influence reality. Even after rejecting religion in my teens, I sort of kept the habit of talking to the universe, hoping it would somehow listen to my complaints about how I thought life was unfair. I used to think my thoughts had this power to change things around me, but they don't. I want to make clear, though, that I'm not saying our thoughts have no effect on our lives. Being optimistic certainly impacts your life experience differently than being pessimistic does. But my earlier belief was more about direct control over the universe with my thoughts, a notion I've eventually recognized as mistaken. It took me a while, but I finally accepted the universe doesn't work that way. It doesn't have favorites, and it's not out to get me either. It's unyieldingly neutral, simply existing. This realization helped me see things more clearly and understand that if I wanted my life to be more enjoyable and worth living, I would have to engage with life in a radically different way. I want you to look within. Can you see for yourselves that the universe is constantly unyielding? How many times has reality been altered or changed by your wishes, thoughts, beliefs, or desires? How many times has the universe yielded to your feelings? If your answer to these questions is never, like mine, then you probably align with the basic principles of Objectivist Metaphysics. Now let's move on to the next branch of philosophy, the one that focuses on knowledge, epistemology.